Hello, it's Deanne Munoz, and welcome back to another Unleash Your Sexy podcast. Woo, 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 woo. What it do, what it do. Okay, today, you guys, I am so lucky, and thank you so much to Kat for rolling on through and making an appearance today to be my special guest. We have a very powerful topic, which I've never had this topic ever. And I love that we're going to go through this because I think this is a very great message for men on learning the role you should be playing and women on us learning the role that we should be playing as well into our relationships. Okay, so the subject is how to not lose oneself in a relationship. Okay, first question. Are you in a relationship right now?
I just got out of one.
Okay.
So I feel like this topic is very personal too. And I've always been in relationships. Like I only last single for like 3 or 4 months. I'm a lover. I love to be in committed relationships. So I know very well how it is to lose yourself in a relationship.
Okay. So on that note, how many relationships have you been in?
Like 3 committed relationships, but one of them lasted like 5 years. Another one lasted like 2 years. So they're all long, you know?
Wow.
And I'm only 25, so
I
that's
can't-
like all my adult life. That's my whole adult life.
Literally, there are some girls that are. Hey, Mijo, give her the mic. Everyone doesn't know, my sister stars in the back here. But you know what? A lot of girls that I know are literally like long-term committed, like relationshipers. Shippers. Shippers. Is that what we say? Relationshippers?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the girls that were asking about what the topic is going to be about, a lot of them look up to like girls like you or girls like me that look glam on Instagram. They're like, oh, I want to be like that. But, you know, sometimes when we're at home, we're like bummy and stuff. So,
Right.
I'm just like,
we're in our natural essence.
yeah.
With the, grown out armpit hairs. Okay, yes, finish. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, so they were asking you the topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of the girls were interested in like just tips on how to like stay sexy when in a relationship.
Yes.
And I'm not the one to talk because I try, but I feel like women are nurturers, and I feel like your femininity is like a cup of sugar. I give femininity not only through looking sexy, but I feel like I have a motherly touch, and when I'm with a guy, like I hold him like a baby. I give my femininity through that, through cooking, through keeping the house clean. I have OCD, so I'm just like trying to make everything perfect for them. That at the end of the day, I like forget to take care of myself.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like, okay, so like a perfect example is like all the guys. I feel like I'm a great cuddler, so every time that I'm dating a guy, they never want to get out of bed. They're like, no, hold me for a little bit longer, and it'll be like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and we're just in bed, and I'm like, oh, I want to get up and brush my teeth. I want to get up and do my makeup, stuff that I would do when I live by myself.
Right.
And they're like, no, just stay in bed a little bit longer, and I want to please them, so I'll be like, okay, and I put my needs aside.
Right.
And then when they wake up, they're like, oh, let's go grab brunch. And I'm looking bummy, and I didn't have time to get ready. So I'm like, okay, let's go. And I see girls that are like dressed and with their makeup done, and girls that I would not be intimidated by. Like usually, I feel like lesser than because I'm not ready. But that was my choice to not get ready. I could have been like, no, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna brush my teeth, do my hair. So I feel like as women, it's not just the guys to blame. Like you have to put yourself first.
Yes, you made some really good points there, and I'm glad you brought these up. And definitely a word that came up is self-sacrificing. Like self-sacrificing means to give up one's own identity, one's
Yes.
own needs, and all of that has to do with self-love.
Yeah.
And self-love is, so right now, a lot of the stuff that I'm teaching and that I'm training, and I'm putting a whole course together for this.
Yeah.
It's like women really stepping into their femininity, but the divine femininity. And divine femininity is actually the receiving mode. So men that you date are in their divine feminine. Get it? So the giver is a masculine energy. That's the masculine in a relationship. The person laying back receiving, that's the feminine. So the men you are attracting are divine feminines.
Yeah,
Like literally. And the fact that you're not
definitely.
receiving, you're giving. So a masculine energy is the nurturer, the giving, the to-do, the planner, making things happen. So that's a masculine trait. And
Yes.
and I feel like sometimes well, me, I would say me, as just growing up, period, like, oh, I'm gonna control everything. And I think maybe even Latino home, we're taught as from mothers, oh, you do this, you cook, you clean, you do this, you serve, da 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 da. But that a mother is a masculine energy. So a lot of times when you see like or you hear about postpartum depression, or when you hear about relationships where they're like, we had a kid and it went downhill from there. So what happens is a mother or a masculine energy is a person that's nurturing, taking care of, always doing, always serving. That's masculine. So for a lot of mothers or married women that get into relationships and they have kids, and the men are kind of like, well, she lost herself or she didn't know it. But what it is she's not receiving anything. There's nothing of her. There's no time for her to just relax and receive. The more a woman receives, and she melts into this like juicy, like I don't have to do anything mode. I'm just receiving all of this love, all of this attention, like you just being taken care of. Like I don't have to do anything today. I'm being taken care of by the kids and my husband and everything. She gets a moment to step out of the masculine and really embrace her femininity. So that's where, like, the more I'm learning about it, I'm like, oh my God, I get the postpartum depression. Because a lot of times, first moms, what's it called? First moms? First moms? What's it called when you first have a kid? First time moms. They're probably in relationships, single, right? They've been single their whole life, get into a relationship, have a kid, and now there's this little human being that you have to serve this child all day long, 24/7. And they're just like, whoa, changing their schedule. Now you're like exhausting any self love you did have because you're
Yeah.
giving it all to this little human being.
Yeah, and I couldn't imagine because I feel like having a boyfriend, living with a boyfriend or fiance is like you give so much of yourself. So I couldn't imagine like taking care of a whole child. And I kind
Oh,
of
I
see
got
that with,
chills.
like with my mom too. Like my mom was so beautiful and she had like such a tight body. She'd do her makeup every day, dye her hair. And now she's like with my dad for like 20 years. And now she's like, oh well, why am I gonna get dressed to be in the house? Why am I gonna get dressed to go to the bank? And just I don't know. I have never let myself go that much, but like when I'm in a relationship, I just don't do like my skincare routine, or I don't like I can't be myself because there's always someone around. Like you know what I mean? Someone living with me. Um,
So what does it mean to you to be yourself?
Well, I've been in a lot of relationships where I have been judged for being myself. Like I remember my last relationship, I used to love cooking and listening to oldies or dancing to Selena. And my ex walked in, he called me, he was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You look stupid." So now every time he would walk in, I would be listening to my music. But when I heard like the keys opening the door, I would like change it and put trap music. I'll put Future, something that he likes, so I won't get made fun of. Or like um just like you can't like you have to learn to like love yourself enough to not care what they think, or just to be comfortable and still like I don't know.
Okay, so give me an example. So you're in a relationship. Let's just take your last relationship.
Yeah.
So right now, if you're with that person,
Yeah.
and right now I asked you to fully step into your self love and to fully take care of yourself first, what would that relationship then look like to you?
Well, I don't think any of the guys that I've dated or lived with have had an issue with that. It's me that I want to give them more of my time. Like, instead of doing my skincare routine and taking a bubble bath and taking my time, I'm just like, let me take a quick shower and throw on some PJs real quick so I can spend more time with them. Because I'm like, oh, they're going to get mad if I'm in the restroom for like 2 hours. I want to be with you. You know what I mean?
No, I totally know. We've all been there.
It's not like their fault. It's something that is from you.
So then what would it look like then? If Kat said, you know what? I'm going to take care of me first, and I'm still going to be in a relationship.
I think my relationship would have been fine. It's a matter of me wanting to give more and more and more of myself. You know what I mean?
Right. And then what happens when you give too much?
You lose the essence of yourself. Like, your daily routines, the little things you do that make you, that's what makes you. And once you stop doing that and giving them more time, and then you find out that they're creeping or they're cheating or texting other people, you're like, wow, like, I let go of the essence of me to give you more time, and you're doing this to me, so it makes you resentful, have an attitude, mad. It's not just something superficial. It's something like deeper than that when you don't take care of yourself.
Right. So what would it look like, right, from now on for you to fully embody self-love?
Well, that's what I'm doing now.
Right.
I live by myself. I light incense when I wake up. I take rose oil bubble baths, like stuff that I would do. But it's just like, I don't know why I stop every time that I'm with someone.
No, so a lot of it is it's the masculine.
Yeah.
It's like it's what it comes down to is lacking the self-love when you're in a relationship.
Yes.
So let's work it now. I'm gonna coach you through. Do you have permission to coach you through this?
Yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to talk about this topic, because I know that's your brand, like unleashing your sex.
So let's visualize, okay? Because first we have to visualize what it's gonna look like. So for Kat to say, hey, you know what? Love you to death. And you know I fucking cook, I clean, I look bomb as fuck. But I need to do A, B, and C for myself so that I could show up even stronger for you. To love you even deeper. Because the more you love yourself, the harder you can actually, and deeper you love him. The less you love yourself, the less love you can really give because you're in the drain. So right now, like, just like imagine you not over giving, okay? Imagine you giving to yourself first in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
So what would that look like every day? So let's say you woke up in the morning to the night. If the thing is Kat comes first. I nurture myself first, and then comes babe. So what would that look like? Like an ideal day for you where you look like, I fucking took care of myself. I'm in my fucking power. I'm in my divinity. I'm feeling juicy. I'm glowing. Ooh, like.
Well, I still don't know what that feels like, because I haven't met someone that's a fully grown, secure man. Where I've had a lot of relationships where I have drama, where I don't have time to, like, I don't really care about doing my routine because I'm worried, like, trying to spy on them or, like, feeling insecure. You know, I haven't met, like, a grown man like that.
Okay.
Where I could flourish. You know what I mean?
Well, our happiness is never dependent on another person.
Yeah.
Our self-love is never dependent on a person. What is dependent on us is the self-love and us not losing ourselves. So if losing ourselves says, okay, I'm going to I'm going to have to be watching over you all the time. And that's also a masculine energy. You're forcing, you're trying to make things happen. You're stalking. You're in a state of lack and scarcity and fear. That's all masculine. And it drains you that's again, remember, we have too much masculine. If we're not in our femininity, we drain ourselves. And that's where people, women or men, it doesn't matter. They lose themselves.
Exactly. And I went to college for psychology, so I feel like, I don't know, I have a good listening ear. My friends literally call me bawling at 3, 4 in the morning. A lot of my friends are really close to me where they tell me their personal problems, and they're beautiful girls, like beautiful, beautiful girls, but they call me crying, looking all crazy at 3 in the morning. They're like, oh my gosh, I was following him and I saw this and that, followed his car, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't get to be like you said, stalking and doing that. That takes away from your feminine energy, and they don't have time to get ready. They're just right here going crazy in their mind.
Right. So with that being said, that actually has a lot to do with boundaries. Because I feel like at the end of the day, we've all dated somebody. And if we're in the state of having to stalk someone all the time and we're always in fear, it's already because there was a lot of red flags.
Yeah, but I see that all of my friends, and they're from 20 to 30. I just think that people have to be more careful with who they date. And a lot of men don't let your feminine energy flourish because you do have to be like on your toes all the time. You can't just lay back and be like, oh, you know what, taken care of. Like,
But you can. Hold on, listen to this, okay? Because this is what it is. When I have so much self-love,
yeah,
and I'm relaxing in a relationship because I'm trusting you until you prove otherwise, right? I'm just going to sit back, and the more space I give you and the more trust I give you, and I get to just watch you. And self-love to me is I have boundaries. So when you do something that's not okay with me, when you do something that, you know what, you disrespected me, and now this no longer makes me feel safe, it's me saying I love myself so much.
enough to walk away.
Yeah, and I trust my judgment. I trust my judgment so much that when I date somebody, or if I was to get into a relationship, I would have no problem trusting until proven otherwise. And then I have so much self-love that I could just be like, thank you. That's it. And I could walk away with my self-love, with my self-worth. I get to hug myself and be like, you were perfect. You were everything you're supposed to be. This person didn't honor you, but you honor yourself, and just walk away and find someone new.
Oh my gosh, that makes me want to cry.
Because at the end of the day, that's what self-love.
Oh, let me pour myself another glass. And it's so, like, all my friends are Latinas, so it's very hard. I know that you're Latina too, but my mom has been through such a, like, oh my gosh, my dad has put her through hell, and I've seen it, and they were always like, well, you're supposed to stay with your man. You're whole if you jump from relationship to relationship. Even, like, you know, all our grandmas, our grandpas had kids with, like, 7 other ladies in their village, and then our moms got cheated on for 20 years. Yeah, my grandpa had like 7 wives, and then my mom, with my dad, she stayed with him for like 20 plus years, even though he's like put her through hell. And in my culture, it's like you stay.
Right.
And also I was raised in East LA, so it's like a little bit like, you have to be a ride or die.
Yeah, no,
your man goes to jail, your man beats you, your man does this, you stay. It just breaks your feminine energy. So that's why I'm trying to like rebuild it. And now that I have my boundaries, because I'm like, okay, I was raised a certain way, but if I choose to still believe in staying, that's up to me. I'm grown. Like, I can't blame anyone else.
Right. I love it. Yes. I love that, Kat. I love it. Ooh, hug for Kat. Ooh, that's self-love. I'm loving this. And something I'm learning recently, which I think is something I would love to explain to you, is we have a thing called, if you've ever heard, it's called generational trauma.
Yes.
Okay. And they always say, like, we have to be the generation that breaks the generational abuse, the generational trauma.
That's so real.
The generational curses, or whatever. The Bible says curses, but because what it is what happens is our family, religion, and the way we're brought up, it becomes a curse when they put their belief system on us.
Definitely.
Right? When they put this prophecy on us, which we were listening to earlier, of, well, the prophecy is, you know, you're Latina, you're going to get married, have kids, you're going to get cheated on, but you're going to stay and you're going to be miserable your whole fucking life.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you got to tolerate him cheating and being with 7 other wives and having, 14 kids. But us today, we're not part of that generation. We're not our mom. We're not our grandma. And I don't care if we're from East LA, from Beverly Hills, because Beverly Hills, they have cheaters out there too.
Oh yeah.
It's so much of us saying, no, mom, no matter what a man does, I'm gonna break this fucking toxic cycle of, I love myself so much, mom. I love myself so much. I would never allow any man to disrespect me.
Walk all over you.
Yeah. And that's you breaking generational trauma. And I feel especially as Latinas, like we were brought up. I was in a 12-year marriage in my 20s from 18 to 26.
Yeah, I had kind of seen on your Instagram about your story.
Yeah, and I stood in that relationship because my mom said no matter what a man does, you stay with him, you cook. I didn't have a job. I cooked, I cleaned, I stood home. I'd be a stripper for him at night and a porn star, and then during the day I was a mom. Like I did everything for him. Like I served him, like dressed him, fucking showered him, like everything. Like I literally did everything, and I ended up walking out of this toxic relationship alone, completely dead inside, empty. Like I didn't even know what self-love looked like because my mom didn't teach it.
And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about. Like, a lot of girls that follow me and they have DM me about like their personal stories, and I kind of see what's going on, and a lot of them are so broken inside, cheated on, always have to be looking for like going through the man's clothes to see if they see an eyelash or lipstick, that they're not like stepping into their feminine energy to like feel sexy or take care of themselves. You know, it's so broken.
Right.
And you've been there.
And it all comes from the self-love. And self-love, a big part of it is
but
boundaries.
I feel like you were in that relationship for 12 years. Yeah, like it takes a lot of like hard lessons for you to get to that self-love.
No, I'm telling.
I'm right now. I'm about to
bottom.
Yes.
I end up in rehab. That was my rock bottom for sure. No, and it is, and it's through.
And I feel like you have to hit rock bottom to like get to that part. And I'm gonna be 26, and now I'm finally like, okay, I was a little bit of rock bottom after like these past 2 relationships. It kind of broke me, so I'm just like, now I'm starting to like become more wise and feeling that self-love. But a lot of people, it takes some like super long relationships. Like for me, 5-year relationship that broke me was hard. So I can't imagine 12 years, you know? Right. Sometimes it takes all that time. And now I feel like you became wise.
We were off and on. It wasn't like a solid. We weren't solid for 12 years.
But still, you're broken for those 12 years. It's drama, sadness for 12 years.
No, I ended up suicidal. I ended up addicted to drugs.
Been there
like
too?
I ended up like having to go to rehab. Like it was like a really bad thing, you know, like drug overdoses. And like you said, it literally took me at my lowest low. Like I couldn't even, like, it was like the only next level was like to die. Yeah. And to me, that actually sounded like heaven. Yeah. Because I no longer would have to even feel what I was feeling. And through that, and then, you know, I really came in when I got sober, like I really got to step into like what was the cause of all of this? And at the end of all of it, like not having boundaries, not saying no, not speaking up, not knowing my worth. But at the end of it, it's like you said, generational. My mom had told me, you don't leave a man no matter what he does.
Exactly.
You serve him, you stay there. Like, so I had so many different factors that kept me there. But ultimately today, I'm 45, guys, 45. I'm like my self-love guru now. But, you know, like I wish I had somebody when I was 20, when I was, you know, in my 20s to teach me what self-love was, what breaking generational trauma looks like, you know, what it looks like to have boundaries, or what it looked like for me to say, you know what, we're dating, you lied about that, and I don't want to be going that bitch's page.
Yeah, I don't have to
for the next fucking 5 years of our relationship because you couldn't make up your mind or you didn't want what you wanted, because this is what I want. And you can't meet my needs, guess what? You can't have me. So today, like I've been single for really like, we're going single in 10 years. Like wow. I've been with people in between, but like not long-term relationships, but because I have such a strict no list. You know, I just have such a strict, I just love myself so much. I could never put myself in a situation like that again to compromise on any of my absolute no list. So absolute no list.
Yeah, and half of the time when you're arguing or like messaging people or arguing, going back and forth, it's someone that you would never even be intimidated or even argue with in real life. You're like, you're putting me in a situation to argue with this person below me.
But that's
no matter how they look, just
yeah.
I don't know.
And the fact that period the fact to even respond to somebody. Like
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm working on because
Yeah.
I've always been very petty, but I'm just like
but self, yeah. So
now that I'm really really single and I'm just like
the self.
it's hard to have like feminine energy because I have to step into my masculine energy. Like I have to pay all my bills. I have to carry all my groceries and my waters 25 floors up. I have to like do a lot of masculine stuff. You know what I mean? So it's I have my little routine that helps me like be feminine. So that's what I want to talk about. Like what can my girl followers that are in relationships that have lost themselves, what can they do to feel sexy and like what routines can they do for themselves to feel
that's
good?
why I was asking you. Remember, I was like, "Can I coach you?"
Yeah,
I was asking
definitely.
you. So let's give an example through you. Okay, so for you, things that you wanted to do in your relationship but you didn't. Okay, so like you said, bubble baths or your hair and makeup. So let's just say in a day, for you, because so your next relationship you can have. Okay, like this is what I want it to look like. So what does a day for you
I have
look
actually
like?
never sat down and like thought about like what I want my perfect relationship to look like. I kind of just
Well, we're gonna do it
I
right
kind of
now.
just take what life throws at me. I'm like, okay, well, sometimes I'm like, oh, well, if it's meant to happen,
Wait.
destiny, I was supposed to meet this person. Whatever happens is supposed to play out. I don't think of like a situation, my perfect situation, and like think it out.
Oh my God, that's a.
And I always thought manifesting was kind of dumb. I'm like,
No, you know. Okay,
but
maybe
I think it's like kind of true.
replace the word manifesting with my prayer.
Yeah. Yes, I like that better.
I have a. This is my prayer.
Manifesting seems kind of cheesy to me because you can't just like be working like a job that pays you this much and be like, I'm gonna manifest to be a millionaire. You kind of have to take the step. So to me, it always sounded silly.
Yeah. So manifesting is, first of all, it's we start with visualizing. You can't manifest something if you didn't have a dream. A lot of people
And
don't
I've
have
never
dreams.
even sat down and visualized like what my perfect relationship
So
is.
that's what we're doing now, because that's the first step, is to even dream. What does your dream look like?
I don't know. I never sat down and thought of it.
Okay, so
That's
here we
something
are. Let's
thing.
go. Yeah, I got time today. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Honestly, okay. Let's say from the morning you wake up. Literally, just close your eyes. Okay? Close your eyes. And I want you to feel you just woke up to like the ultimate soulmate guy. Like this guy's about to do everything and make you feel everything you've ever wanted to feel loved and safe and protected. So what does your day look like with him?
I think I would feel so blessed if I woke up and somebody was like petting me and being like, "Good morning."
Ooh, and what does that feel like?
Good.
Where would you feel it at in your body? Like what part of your body would you feel it? Like where does the goodness feel?
I would feel nurtured. I wouldn't feel like, because usually I wake up my guys and I'm just like, good morning. Like, or they'd be like, give me a massage. And I'm just like, someone that would like nurture me, wake me up like that. And then like someone who would kind of go about their day and do their own thing. Like they would go to the gym by themselves. I would go to the gym by myself. I feel like also I can't like be myself with someone too clingy and like try to be on.
Okay. I love that. Space is good for a relationship. This is all self-love. So that's self-love is saying me time gives me enough time to like show up for me. I could go to the gym, take care of me, do what I need to do. I love this. So this is self-love. So that's what self-love looks like so far. Okay, so let's
I just
keep
can't
going.
visualize the rest. Like
Just close your eyes in, because your eyes are open. So keep it closed. Okay, so you've woken up, and you've woken up to
with a kiss on the forehead.
to this beautiful, gorgeous, sexy man who just, you're his fucking life. He cannot live without you. He cannot breathe without you. And all he wants to do is love you. He wants to love you in a way that no one's ever loved you. He leans over while you're sleeping, kisses you on your forehead, and starts playing with your hair and whispers in your ears, I love you so much.
He doesn't even have to be sexy. I like guys that are
No. Sex is an energy, babe. It's an energy.
Yes.
It's an energy. It's not a love. I'm not talking about love.
Yes.
It's an energy.
That's very true.
It's an energy, right? So do you, he's sexy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because sexy is different to everybody. It's an
You know what's really sexy to me?
Yes.
A sexy energy from a guy. I've dated guys that are chubby. The guys that I have dated are not like conventionally handsome. I don't like pretty boys.
Right. Not okay.
To me, like a sexy male energies when they're a boss. Like all the guys that I have dated own businesses, and I'm just like when they're like
Masculine.
telling people what to do,
That's
I'm just
masculine.
like yes,
That's masculine.
energy. Yeah.
So that's all masculine. That is called masculine energy. When we're always taking care of a guy and he's like, oh, baby me, take care of me. Guess what he's being? The divine feminine.
My ex was like that. He asked me to do his makeup and this and that, and I
so
just
it's like divine feminine. Is that attractive?
well, I kind of liked it because I've my last relationship was very masculine. I was taken care of.
Right.
I was like the little princess. I was the baby. My last relationship, he was very girly. And I kind of liked being the nurturer because I feel like it's time for, I really want to be a mother. It's time for me to be a mother. I have so much motherly energy to give that I'm like, I kind of wanted to baby someone. But then it kind of made me feel like ugly.
Right. It wasn't in alignment with what you were wanting.
Yeah. So my last relationship was too masculine.
Okay.
This one was too feminine.
Okay.
So
We're
when I close my
learning.
eyes and I think of like the perfect situation, my perfect day, I don't know what that looks like.
Okay. So we're just going to play with it.
I can't even imagine.
Okay. So let's just say he went to the gym. You're at the gym. You get home. And then like he walks in. How do you want him to behave and treat you when he walks in?
This is also something that I've talked to about my friends, my homegirls, like my friends, that usually like when you're in a toxic, bad relationship with, you know how you said, picture yourself like someone that you're his whole life, that he fucking is crazy about you. A lot of women don't have that. It's hard to find someone like that. So usually like when I have dated guys and they walk in and I live with them, they won't even say hi. They'll just walk in and they'll be like, what are you doing? Or kind of like that. They won't be like, oh, hi, how was your day? Or like excited to see you.
Right.
I've never had that.
Really?
Yeah. Have you had guys that you dated?
Yes.
How do they walk through the door? Like I don't know how that feels.
I don't know. They walk over and they just hug and they kiss me and they're like, I missed you and I love you.
I've
Like,
never
kisses
had
and hugs.
that.
Yeah. But also to remember, like what we allow, how we allow someone to treat us is how we get treated.
Yeah.
So
So usually by the time that I move in with someone, I'm in too deep where I'm just like, oh, well, I could put that aside. Like, it's okay. To the point where I have a long list of stuff that I put aside,
Right.
where it's like,
So that's
not
the
what
red
I want.
flags. That's the
Yeah.
problem with boundaries and relationships is there were so many red flags, but we stood.
Exactly.
So the fact is for me, I wouldn't even date somebody who wasn't treating me the way I wanted to be treated as though we were in a relationship. Because if somebody's not affectionate with me or loving or kind to me while we're dating, that shit is not going to change when we're committed.
And usually, like, guys will be affectionate when it's time, like, intimacy time. But that's not enough. Like, and like I said, I talk to my friends a lot about the relationships, and a lot of guys do just walk in. And, like, even with my father and my mother,
Right.
he just walks in.
Right,
And
well,
like,
We're
"Where's
not
my
we're
food?"
not tolerating that behavior no more, right?
Exactly,
We're not tolerating
no.
that anymore. Okay, because you woke up, you got a kiss on the forehead, you got it.
Well, sometimes it's like hard to like let it pass because it's like, okay, my exes didn't walk in and be like, oh, where's my plate of hot food? They weren't that outright, but they would just walk in and they'd just be like, oh, what are you up to? What are you doing? I've never had someone tell me like, oh my god, I missed you. How was your day? You know what I mean?
Okay, we're getting ready. Okay, so you get home from the gym.
Yes.
You're in the kitchen, making a protein shake. Let's just say having a granola bar or whatever you do. You bowl of fruit with yogurt and granola and chia seeds and some passion fruit, and your man walks in. So there we go. What would you like to happen when he walks in that door?
Like hug me from the back and just be like, oh, how was your workout? Something like that.
Okay.
Not just be like walking like a fucking Shrek and mean, you know?
Perfect. Okay. So see, you do know. Now we're just gonna, you know what you want. We're just gonna put it together in a picture now. Okay.
But it's hard. Like, I have all the stuff that I want someone to do, and if they just do one of those things, it's good enough for me. Like, it's hard. Do you really have like a whole list, and they have to do everything, or else they're done?
Okay. So, which way to pen and paper? Okay. So what we do is I have an absolute no list. Like absolute no. There's no way if a man has anything on this list I can't date with him. I can't fuck with him. Nothing. Right? Flip it over.
I think I need to make a list like that.
So it's called a love blueprint. We do it, right? We're doing that in my new program, right? And then the next, right on the next page, you're gonna write down all the things that he has to absolutely do and have, like absolute, like these. He has to have all of these.
Now that I'm single, I'm kind of building that list, but I feel like I have to really sit down and think about it. But right now, I'm like so disgusted with dating that I'm just not even trying to date anyone. I'm just like shunning everyone out. But I feel like I should manifest it and like write it down.
No, definitely. I'm telling you, I'm doing a new course. I'm working on it. It's about to be released. I'm putting it together. And right, so then because it's a blueprint. It's called a blueprint, right? And then you're gonna have a list that says these things. He doesn't have to do these,
but there may be.
But if he did, that'd be really fucking nice. So I'll give you an example of my no list, okay?
Yeah.
So my no list is number 1. He can't be in a relationship. He can't be in a situationship. Absolute no's. I don't ever fuck with anyone in a relationship, period. Number 2, I don't come second to nobody else. Ever. I will never be somebody's second choice. Ever. So I'm not going to play this game of you're going back and forth between someone else, somebody else. Nor am I ever going to be like there has to be a decision between me and another girl. You got me fucked up. Period. Like I love myself so much, and if you obviously don't love me, that you're not with me. So enjoy her, have a good time with her, and I'm sending you guys my blessings, and I pray you guys work out. Because I'm not going to sit and compete with nobody because there's no competition. The man that's meant for me will never even have eyes for another girl, period.
And that's what I was saying about like, what was I talking about? About where you're not able to like fully take care of yourself because you're investigating and all that. I've always been in relationships where like maybe like at the 3 or 4 or 5 month mark, it's always like someone else pops up and they're kind of still in the back burner and I have to like compete against them. So like I said, instead of me doing my nightly routine, taking care of myself, I'll go to bed and spend more time with you because I'm like, fuck, I have to give you more time, make you better food, like give you more massages, fuck you more because that other person could do more and I'm competing against this person. Okay. And that's really sad. That's really bad too.
Okay, but listen. You're forcing.
Definitely.
You're forcing someone to.
It should never be a competition.
Forcing period isn't feminine.
Exactly.
For you to just let go and be like, let me watch you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm barely learning because I'm barely stepping into like my womanhood. I feel like all my relationships have been from an immaturity.
No, it's not even immaturity. It's just no one taught us what being in our divine feminine is.
It took me like my last relationship, I got engaged when I was 18. I got out when I was like 23. Now I was in a relationship for like almost a year and a half. So I feel like now I'm finally learning through like all the hurt.
Good. So we're going to finish your little exercise here, okay? Because remember, you're putting together the dream man. And you've already said, I'm sure like you said, you've had conversations with your friends at certain times where you're just like, ooh, I want this, I want that, I want that. So
we never have conversations about like what we want.
Okay, so this is good. Then so next time someone calls you, then instead of talking about what the problem is, say, what do you want?
Exactly. And you know what? I was reading my horoscope and it said, all you do is talk about other people. Like if there's soap opera characters, you need to start developing your own personality so you can talk about yourself instead of talking about other people. And maybe that's a good tip. Like when my friends comment, be like, instead of talking about the same drama with the same guy, you had the same exact problem for the past 4 years. Talk about what you want. And what you're looking for.
Exactly.
And I was also telling my friends, like the first person, after you break up with someone, the first person you meet is not the person that you have to date.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, and all my friends, they usually like, a lot of girls that I know too, like the first guy that pays attention to them, they're like dating them and they're going through the same red flags and like, oh, what did I do? I'm heartbroken again. I'm like, you don't even know what you're sad about at this point. You're still heartbroken about the last relationship. Now you're heartbroken about this guy. I'm like, the first guy you meet is not the one that you have to like settle for.
No, definitely. So when we get out of a toxic relationship It's because we have not done our own healing of the trauma. So what's normal to us is we're going to go straight to the next guy that looks exactly like the last guy.
Exactly.
Because somebody who's toxic doesn't even know what a safe, loving relationship looks like. So what happens is they're so used to the way this shithead treated him, they're going to go to the next one.
Yes, and that's my best friend is having the same thing. The same guy. It's like the same guy in a different body.
Right? Because remember,
kind of like
we have to do
for
our
the same
own healing. If we don't have self-love, so let's say I didn't have this list. So my new Deanne, after I turned 26, went through some drug overdoses, suicide, all over. Not having enough self-love to relationship, I ended up leaving. So I had to make a list that next time a guy does cheating, is in a relationship, lies to me, ever lays hands on me, ever calls me a name or curses at me, those are all on my no list, like absolute no's. You ever curse at me, you're never gonna talk to you. You got me fucked up. I'm never in a relationship with you. Don't ever put your hands on me. Don't cheat on me. Like, to me, those are absolute no's. Now, if I was to be like, if anybody did those and I said, I forgive you, I'm going to stay, guess what? I'm back in that toxic relationship that I was in for 12 years. And guess what? I'm trying to break that fucking cycle and be like, nah, motherfucker, like, that's not me. I love myself so much. Look, this is the new me. And anytime you do that, guess what? I'm not going to tolerate it because I love me so much. Like, I get to hug me and just be like, Deanne, like I value you. I'm sorry you didn't value yourself when you were younger. But guess what? I value you so much now. I will never let Deanne ever go through that pain and trauma ever because I'm protecting Deanne. And the way we want to nurture men and take care of them, no. Put your hands on yourself and say, love yourself the way you would love your child or your man, and be like, no, Deanne, like I imagine like would we send our child to a babysitter that's a child molester? Why would we get into a relationship or a relationship with somebody who's a cheater? Get it? It's like we get to like hug ourselves and be like, you're safe. Like, Deanne's safe. You know why? Because I have this list that says, when a guy does any of these and I stay, guess what? This paper gets glued back together. And you know what happens to Deanne when this paper gets glued back together? She turns to drugs. She turns to alcohol. She gets psycho. There's going to be physical fights. She's going to be insecure. She's not going to feel good enough. She's not going to be loved. But guess what? That doesn't exist for me anymore. Because I love Deanne so much. And I know when Deanne was in her 20s, she didn't know better. And guess what? It's like I love that girl so much,
and that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get out of. Like right now, I'm in the stage where I'm exiting my 20s. I have what? I'm gonna be 26 in August. Yeah. So after that, I have like 4 years to like step out of my 20s, and time goes by fast. That's why, like, little by little, I'm like learning to get out of that. And it's never like it's never too late. You don't. It's like, oh, by the time you're 30, you have to be wise. But
no.
Around this time is where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Like
we learn through relationship. And you know what? And I feel like your soul will always let you know. Mm-hmm. You know, like you were like legit saying like this is, you know, like you were so aware that, you know what, I didn't take that bath when I wanted to when I was with him. I didn't go do my hair and makeup because that makes me feel good, because I was sitting there trying to take up most of his time to make him feel loved, so that girl wouldn't have his attention.
Exactly. As
opposed to, guess what? If that girl does get your attention, I'm still going to go do my hair and makeup. And guess what? You can stay with her. I'm going to do my hair and makeup no matter what every day. And if I have to lay in bed with you 5 hours and waste my day in order to keep you, then you were never mine. Because what's meant for me isn't going to be forced. It's going to be there by choice, and it's going to be loving, and it's going to make me glow. And I'm going to be radiant. And people are going to be like, you know, when they see me, they're gonna be like, damn, like you're glowing. Like I haven't seen you smile. I haven't seen you glow. Like there's a spark in your eyes. You know, like last year I was seeing somebody and I can't ever remember someone tell me I was glowing.
I've never had that.
No,
and,
yeah.
And like you said, I have to like make my list of no's. I kind of made one like right now since I'm all on my own. Like I feel like I'm very expensive. I live down the street, so my rent is almost like 4K with bills. Like I have to like upkeep myself. So my first no on my list right now, I only have one, is like when I'm talking to a new guy, if I'm telling him about my problems, like, oh, like I need to go fix my car, I need to do this. I'm not asking for anything. I don't need anything from anyone. But if they don't offer to help, they're like, oh, that's crazy. I hope you figure it out. That's an instant no. And like, I'm learning to make my list. So I'm building it little by little.
Okay. How about in a relationship?
What do you mean?
When you're in a relationship, what's an absolute no you're not going to tolerate?
I don't have any boundaries.
So
Like once I fall in
you-
love, I'm just like, I let everything slide. I'm just like, no, we could get through this. We could get through this. We could get through this.
So you'll let someone cheat on you?
Yeah, all my relationships I've been with someone that I've caught them and I'm just like, well, I don't want to like, I'm so in love. I don't want to let this go. I'll forgive this, but they keep doing it. You know what I mean? And that's where you start getting broken down.
Right. So let's rephrase that. When Kat doesn't set boundaries, right? When Kat doesn't have self-love, then Kat is in relationships where she's not valued. Right? And then that makes Kat not take care of herself. And then Kat gets drained.
Yeah.
Right? But we're sitting here discussing what it does look like for Kat to love her and to have someone who does value her, who honors her, who thinks she's the most beautiful woman in the world and has eyes for nobody else.
Well, everybody acts like that in the beginning, so it's hard to get fooled. And then once you're in too deep, you're just like, oh, well, I'll let things slide. I'm already in love.
Well, in loving somebody, being in love with somebody versus needing them is not the same. Because being in love, like I can be in love with someone and still walk away. Get it? Like what you did isn't okay by me. I do fucking love you to death, but I have so much self-love that like I'm not gonna allow that behavior. You know, so it's really about like it's really embracing the self-love thing. Get it? Like this is about Kat.
Yeah, I feel like as women, we always try to fix things. We're like, okay, no, like, or sometimes when you're in a bad relationship, I feel like a lot of my relationships, I have put them out on social media where I make it look like we're traveling, we're so perfect, giving me all these gifts. So I kind of want to stay and fix it because I'd be like, no, I can't let people know that we broke up. They're going to judge me. They're going to be like, oh, look, he cheated on her. Like, I try to keep it together and be like, a lot of women, like, try to fix it. Like, no, I could fix it. I could fix this. You know, like, they don't let it go that quick.
That's ego. Your ego.
Exactly.
Like you're more worried about what you... So is that really love then?
No.
It's not love then. So don't say I stood for love. Let's rephrase it. I think we should, like, watch the words we're using because then that will help us get really clear on the distinction of, like, the clarity of...
like, what's like love versus ego.
Yeah, like, you were like, oh, but I'm in too deep. I love them.
And my last relationship, I wasn't even physically attracted, or I don't even think I was in love. I just started dating them to make someone else mad because at the moment, like, I started talking to them, and I was like, they found out that I was talking to that person. They're like, you're not going to stay with them. So I was like, watch me. And even though I was miserable, I'm like, I'm going to stay with them.
Ego.
I'm like, I'm going to stay with them, and I'm going to prove that we could be together to make you mad. And I took it so far that a year passed by, and I was miserable. I was like, oh my God, like, it's not even worth it. And that other person's like with somebody else, they're happy, and I'm just over here like trying to prove a point. But not only did it become a point to them, it became a point to my social media where it was like, we're a travel couple, we're doing this and that. And I was like, no, like, I don't want my followers to know that I failed. You know what I mean?
So that's ego.
It's ego,
that's not love.
That's why I said all my relationships came from maturity, ego. It was never love. I've never truly felt love like that.
I love that. Okay, so how did that feel, realizing that right now?
Well, I've been realizing it because I'm not the type of girl when I break up with someone, I'm gonna go have sex with everyone I see, which is not bad. You could do that if that helps you, but I'm not gonna go find a boyfriend the next week to like. A lot of people, they move on to someone new, so they won't have to work on themselves.
And then what happens when they do?
They have the same relationship repeated all over again and over
Right?
again and over again.
And then what happens a year later?
7-8 months relationship repeated.
They're
like
unhappy.
Short one. Yeah.
Because there was somebody that they were in love with. They
And
didn't
still hitting
choose.
up your ex.
That
still
ego,
hitting
and that ego steps in where they
Yeah.
want to be right.
Because a lot of people just move on so quick because they want to prove to social media or to your exes like, oh, look, I'm with someone else. Look at me. I'm so happy. You know what I mean? But I haven't been doing that. I've been by myself and I'm realizing all of this. So all
This
that
is
I'm
good.
talking
I'm
about
loving
is
this.
because I've been getting back into my hobbies too. Like 3 nights ago, I painted a huge canvas.
I saw it.
Yeah,
I
it
loved
was-
it.
it looks so pretty,
I
right?
loved it.
I had seen them for
I
$2,000
loved it.
online, and I looked it up, and it's just plaster. So I got thick plaster, and I was just scraping it on.
It's gorgeous.
And I was like
loved it.
smoking. I lit a candle, and I was like, I FaceTimed my best friend. She called me at the exact moment, and we were had like a 3 hour conversation. She's really spiritual. We're talking about that, and it's
Self-love.
just like, yeah,
That's a self-love moment. And when you're in that feeling, so that was your divine feminine.
yeah.
What were you, what did you feel like? What did that feel like to you?
Every time we have a conversation, we feel good. I like having spiritual friends that talk about stuff like that instead of gossip.
Right.
Now I feel like when people comment about gossip, I'm just like, ever since my horoscope said that, I'm like, okay, yeah,
It's
that
like
felt personal. I'm like, I don't need to talk about people.
But and the thing about that too is I feel like a lot of times when, like when we're in some kind of spiritual alignment with what we're trying to replace that pain for, like some people go back to the toxic people, go through the drama, and then some people go through a moment of like isolation. They introspect of like, okay, how was that relationship? What did it go through? Why was there, right? And like you made some great breakthroughs right now. You're like, oh, I was only with him to piss off my ex.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You're like, I really wasn't in love with him. I was worried about what everybody else thought. Like you weren't even concerned about Kat. Like Kat was just like, you didn't even hug her or pick her up or hold her and say, Kat, like you didn't even know what you wanted. So now we're like, we have an idea, right? Of
Yeah,
what you want
and
now.
I've never been like I've never lacked confidence or felt like smaller than someone, or like felt, down here. And
Right.
I feel like my last relationships have always made me feel like that. And it's not because they have masculine or feminine energy. Like I said, it's me because I don't have my boundaries. I don't have my list.
Yes, I love that. Ooh. Because this list for Deanne's important.
Yeah.
Because-
And my hopes to step into my 30s, I don't want to have a boyfriend. I don't want to play house. I don't want to like go out with someone and be giving them all my time and move in with them and then lose a year or two. Like I really want to step into my 30s and have like actual like loving relationship.
I love that. Okay, so on that note, since you want a loving relationship, so let's get through your day, this dream guy. Because we got halfway through the day. He comes in, he comes behind you, and he kisses you on your shoulder, hugs you from behind, and he slaps the booty and says, God damn, that's my booty, right?
And then it turns into OnlyFans scene.
He puts you on top of the counter, has his way
Oh
with
my
you.
gosh.
And then from there, like, what would the rest of your night look like? Like, for a man who is in his masculine, taking control, loving you. Like if you were to put, so let's finish, like Prince Charming, what Cinderella's Prince Charming would look like. As far-fetched as it might seem to you to think of it, like, give me, like, tell me, like, the rest of the day what it would look like.
Well, for me I feel like to even get to that point, I don't want to like just live with someone and just hang out with them. I actually want to have a family and have kids.
Okay.
So I feel like the perfect life for me would just be like waking up also to my kid and then taking my kid to do activities and then just like laying in bed with my kid and my husband and just like being soaked in love from both of them. You know what I mean? Without the drama. But it's so hard to even think of that because modern relationships are not like that.
Okay, so let's
always drama.
So let's take out the negative limiting belief that you keep saying. It doesn't exist. It's hard to imagine, because what we're saying right now is we're putting out our prayer. Is this is my prayer. I'm praying that this person now,
without like the negativity.
yeah, like saying like, oh, I can't even think of it. So that's telling God, I don't trust you.
Exactly.
It's telling the universe, no, it doesn't exist. But it does exist. So we're going to come from a place of trust, a place of self-love, and we're going to pretend like it's, even if they pretend, just pretending at least gives you that little feeling. Because right now when you were talking about my husband and my child waking up, like I felt the goosebumps. Like I could feel, you were feeling it. Mm-hmm. Did that feel real?
Yeah.
There we go. So it exists. So now from there, from that state of bliss, of joy, of faith, that just the waking up part, like you were like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna wake up. Oh, he's gonna be there. Oh, I'm gonna feel so loved. And you were like this. That was that feeling. Like you were in the moment. That is the moment of faith. So now we get to get that, and we get to just expand it throughout the rest of the day. And the bigger he gets and the more real, then that prayer goes out.
I just can't believe I can't
what did we
start.
Say? What did we say? We're not gonna say
I can't start to like think of that until,
I can't,
because right now I'm like in the journey of like changing myself. Like
so
I'm very toxic. I'm very crazy, and my mom would yell at my dad and pack all our stuff and walk out at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night with all our stuff. And I still have that in my relationships. I know how to pack my stuff in 5 minutes and go. Okay, you know. And I just feel like I have to work on myself before I think of that. Do you really know
how to do that?
Yes, I could pack all my stuff and I'll be like, I'm out of here.
But you were in disagreement. But you were in. No, I'm talking about a toxic relationship. You can leave and not come back.
No, I'll pack my stuff, pretend like I left, and then come back, just like my mom would do.
Okay, so that's not an empowering.
Yes, so I can't begin to think of like my perfect relationship with a man like that, like how we're talking about, until I change myself.
But you can. You just did. You just did.
No, I'm still working on that, because even if I think about it, I'm still gonna do that.
Okay, correct. Okay, I know. We're just doing one thing right now. That's it. Okay, all I'm asking you is just to visualize it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to trust it or believe it. Get it? So I'm just asking. Let's just start with visualizing what it looks like. Because I get the part where you're like, I can't. But I love the fact that you said I can't visualize it, because you just told me what you wanted your morning to look like. So you can, right? So
I feel like another part of my perfect man would be someone spiritual. So maybe like with my last relationship where I was engaged, I try to get my ex and his kids, because I have stepkids, to go to church, and they thought I was silly and they didn't want to go. And when I was in college, I went to a very hippie college where they were very like spiritual, not like through God, but very like, you know what I mean? Spiritual in another way. And I was seeing a guy, he was a fucking loser, but he was very spiritual in like a hippie way. Oh my gosh, I loved it. It felt so good. And I'm just like, I feel like.
What did that feel like? When you said that felt good, what does that feel like to you?
Like someone special, but it's not someone that I love. It's just someone that I like their vibe.
And where do you feel that in your body? When you feel that happiness right now, where did you feel it? Name in a part of your body.
On my mind, because we would stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning. Your mind,
your heart, or your stomach? When you said right now,
in my mind, so good. In my mind, because it was nothing about love, but we would stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning and have long like talks about life. And when nobody that I've ever dated seriously, we could do that. We don't ever talk about nothing.
Right.
And I would tell them, like, I would bring those people up and be like, yeah, like we used to have talks about life for hours. Like, well, what'd you talk about? So it's something you can't explain. It's just something that flows. You know what I mean? So my perfect man would be someone that's spiritual, either through God or another spiritual way.
Right. I love it. Here we go. Look it. You can. Yeah. You can, right? Say, I can.
I feel like everyone is spiritual, but if they're not comfortable and open to you, they're not gonna talk.
That's so. On Deanne's
other side, you're not gonna have talks like that. You're just gonna be like, "What do you want to watch? What do you want to watch on Netflix? What do you want to eat?" It's nothing deeper.
No, yeah. So on my other list that I have, things that they must have, spirituality and deep conversations is on my list. So remember that, like, we're gonna, like, you have your list now.
Yeah.
We're adding
Stuff to it.
You're gonna like.
Now I have 2 things on my list.
Yes, loving it. See, because everything's just baby steps. Remember, you don't have to see the whole fucking picture because I don't know. I don't even know what my soulmate looks like. But throughout the fucking 10 years of being single, you know, I'll be like, oh shit. Well, guess what? I'm gonna put on the to-do list. He must be single. Because my prayer was for a certain
And
type
that seems like something like so
ridiculous.
common sense.
No,
but it's not.
No, literally, like there was a point where like I kept getting hit on by people in relationships, or I'd go on a few dates and later on a girl would hit me up and I'd be like,
and you have no idea because they hire so good.
No, they're super sneaky, and I'll be like, oh, okay, wow. So now I had to be like, shit, let me get a little more specific.
That has to be on my list.
That has to be on my list. Must be single. Dear God, add that to my prayer list.
Oh my God.
Because maybe that guy did have all the I asked
my
for.
last ex, I was with him for a year, and then I found out he was married. Dang.
Wait,
so people
he
could
was
hide
still
everything.
with her, married, or they were just legally
during the
married?
day he would go see her, and then at night he would sleep with me. So I was like, he's sleeping in her house. I mean, I have nothing to doubt.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
That's why it's like it's such a ridiculous thing to put on your list, but it's very true. It's like that's what I'm saying. That's where the investigating comes from, because people are not gonna tell you, hey, I have a girlfriend and this, I have a baby mama. You have to like go into the masculine energy and investigate. And I feel like modern relationships are so much like that, and it sucks.
But toxic relationships are. So when we truly step into self-love, you're gonna recognize that guy 1,000 miles away. You're going to know the lies 1,000 miles away, because your self-love is going to be so fucking strong.
I feel like that comes from being wise too.
It's just self-love, like experience, self-love. And I'm telling you, when you
from
have,
experience.
when you have this,
because when you're 18, 19, 20 and you see that, you can't recognize it.
No, you don't.
Even now, I feel like I'm kind of stupid. You have to go through a lot of pain, a lot of experiences, and
to get knowledge, to grow.
yes.
We expand.
And now, you know what? That's
bottoms.
why I realized guys in their 40s and 30s, 35, they date girls that are 18, 19 because they're
gullible.
And it's not just me. And you know what? When I was 18 and I would be arguing with girls that my ex was seeing that were like 27 or 30, I'd be like, you old ass bitch, blah, blah. When I'm just like, I'm in that situation where someone could call me an old ass bitch, 18-year-old girl, and I'm just like, now I understand why they go for those girls, because they're so vulnerable. No, because when you're a grown woman and you already experienced all this, you have your fucking list. Yes.
Sorry, bro, you can't pull that one on me.
Exactly.
And it, you know what? And unfortunately, it is true, because if you hear most of the time, women in our generation in their 18s, you know, are following the trauma of what they're taught, the limited belief system that you're not worthy to be in a committed relationship because your mom
and even now, like grown,
yeah,
I feel like it's so like glamorized, and people like make you seem like you're a hero when you have masculine energy. Like, I don't fucking need no one. I could do this by myself. Like, people are like, yes, you're an independent woman.
So I love that. I love that. I resonate that with 100%. And the glory is like, I think let's start teaching everybody the glory is. You know what that movement is when women are like, fuck that, I'm single, like I'm about my money, boss ass bitch. Other women look up to it.
Yes.
Because a lot of women are lacking the self-love to leave a toxic relationship. So in their head, they're thinking, oh, I want to be that. Because they don't have the courage or enough self-love to be like, I'm leaving this situation. But look at that girl did, and look at what she's doing now. Because it should, like the new like picture in my head of like this new generation is like, there's no, I don't no longer want to be referred to as a bad bitch. I want to be referred to as a goddess. I'm feminine. I'm soft. I love men. I love to be taken care of by men. I trust men, and I trust that I love myself so much that the minute a guy's not treating me in my goddess essence, in my divine feminine, and he gets into his toxic masculinity, or he starts getting in too much of his divine feminine, like it's not in alignment with me.
Yes, and I feel like women have to learn that taking care of is not only financially. Because like I said, I've been in relationships where I think they have masculine energy because they're paying for everything and I have to sit back and not do nothing. But that's not the whole like picture.
Right. So it's like we get to take away the bad bitch thing, because the thing is we still want to be in love. We still want to be soft. We still want to be vulnerable.
Like for me, it's hard because like in the industry that I'm in, I have to be tough. Like I always have to be arguing with someone, fighting with girls, and I don't have like the only time I get to be soft is when I'm at home alone and I have to do like my little rituals that make me feel soft. Like
Tell me about your rituals.
like my apartment has yoga at 10 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to go, and I've also been trying to like join like this dance class where they do like high heels, like choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I do like rose petal baths, like I said, light incense, or just putting perfume on
All
myself before
self-love. I
bed
love
makes me
that.
feel soft. But it's so hard because the modern day woman has to be so tough and hard. Like
Okay, so remember we're
lot of
removing I can't, and it's too hard. We either do it or we don't. So we're just say like we're
it's
gonna
like
rephrase it.
I know I could do it, but it's
Yeah.
contradicting because like at work I have to be like defending myself and like fight people and
Wait, do you have to fight people, or you're choosing to fight people?
no, like in my job I feel like you have to defend like yourself. There's the girls there are very toxic, very hurt, very broken women. So they're always trying to fight someone. I'm very angry. So I have to like put my guard up, walk to my car with pepper spray, protect myself. And then when I get home, I'm like, okay, now I have to be soft. So it's kind of like, oh, my mind gets crazy trying to be soft and hard at the same time.
So the balance.
Like I told you, like,
Balancing.
yeah, like I feel like you're very vulnerable when you have a lot of feminine energy. Like I've tried this new thing where I always feel like shit when I go to anywhere with like a bun and no makeup. People treat me different, and then like this is how I would usually dress. Like I have my little heels in my dress. This is like a casual dress for me. I started dressing like this to go to the market, to go shopping. People treat you different. You feel better about yourself. You feel super girly. But it also makes you very vulnerable. Like I told you, a homeless guy like attacked me with a knife.
Right.
And it's not because I look like this, but on top of that, like normal people will like be like, "Ay, mija, ay, chula," and it just feels like, ugh, it's hard to like flourish in the real world with your feminine energy because people will take it as an invite to like harass you. And also like when you were little, like when you were short, to like show your boobs a little bit, they'll be like, oh, like your uncle's here, don't do that, like it's bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, we've been programmed to like not be able to like flourish.
To just be in your full sexual power.
Yeah, and even
prowess.
when you walk on the street with like that,
Right.
you seem like a target.
Right. There definitely is a lot to be balanced with that, because the divine feminine isn't about wearing high heels or a skirt. Femininity.
No, definitely. Like when I feel the most feminine is when I put on a hair mask, a face mask, a
Self-love,
nice
yeah.
silk robe, put on perfume. Because usually people save their nice perfumes for when they go to a party. But like,
Yeah.
no, I want to spray it on my pillowcase on myself because I paid $300 for it. I'm gonna
love
smell
this.
it.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
enjoy my
I
perfume.
love your self-love rituals. I do. Like I love I
And
don't.
it's sad
a
because
lot of
I've
girls
been
don't
single
do
for like
it.
2 months, and ever since I moved into my new apartment, I'm doing all these little things. I'm like, how come I wasn't doing it before? It's because I wasn't like focused on like.
You were in your masculine.
Yes, I was over here trying to like freak out and trying to like be better than the next person. You know what I mean?
Let's use the word masculine versus feminine. So you were in your masculine.
Masculine energy.
And masculine is forcing, controlling, trying to dominate. And as the divine feminine, being taken care of, the less we force and the less we do, we're allowing him to come in and take care of us.
Yeah, and like I clarified, it's not only financial because
No.
I've never worried about bills, but it's just like other stuff. You know what I mean?
No, it's receiving is about safety. It's about love. It's
at
about
that point, I
doing.
would much rather pay all the bills and exchange it for safety. Like you're saying, safety is like there's priceless.
Right. So safety. What does safety look like to you?
Safety. I don't have to worry about checking your phone. I don't have to worry about catching you slipping. I just feel like you're all mine.
Okay.
And
How does that feel?
I don't know what it feels like.
If somebody was faithful to you, how do you think it would feel?
Well, I have thought I felt that, but it was not real. But I just don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever felt safe? Ever in your life?
No.
Okay.
In any situation, that's why I said I always have to have my guard up, because I feel like I developed pretty early, like even when I was like, I've never felt safe, not even in relationships, out on the street, nowhere. And I'm always posting my little rants. My friends are always like, crazy stuff always happens to you on the street. I don't know what it is, but I attract craziness. I've never like felt safe. I remember even when I was like 7 years old, I was walking and some guy was like, "Oh, why are you so alone and so pretty by yourself?" I almost got kidnapped by like a guy like trying to give me a free puppy. Me and my little sister were gonna get kidnapped. Like I've never felt safe. Like I've always felt like a target. And then in relationships, I've never felt safe. I always have felt like I have to put my guard up. Like that's why like now that I'm gonna step into my 30s, well, still 5 years away,
Right.
but I wanna like have someone
Just
that makes
today.
me feel safe completely.
Today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of girls I feel like are going through that, especially like I said in my industry, like I take cash home, so I'm always walking like with a pepper spray like on my alert. So it's hard to balance like the masculine and the feminine, because I have to be my own man in my life and woman.
Right.
Like I have to take care of myself. You know what I mean?
So we're allowed to like we're allowed to be powerful.
Yes, but you know what? Now when I'm like carrying like all my groceries up to my elevator, I don't feel like I'm masculine. I'm just like,
No,
oh,
it's not masculine.
yes, I'm fucking like I'm taking care of myself.
It's called self-care.
Yeah, I'm taking care of myself.
It's self-care.
At the end of the day, I'm like, I don't need someone to escort me with my groceries up. Like I feel good about completing tasks when I move furniture up by myself. I feel like it just feels like masculine energy when you're in a relationship and the man is like sitting back and you're doing it. But if you're
Yeah, definitely.
alone, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's starting to not feel like
self-care.
masculine. It feels like I'm just a woman taking care of my business.
Self-care.
Because
for sure.
also like if I have a random guy do it for me, I kind of feel like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Self-love, self-care. I'm loving this. I'm loving everything about it. Okay, so what else? What else would you want in a dream man? What time we at? You want to say something? Oh, I bet you were.
we're all talking shit about men.
Put it on her. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. No, I have to pee.
Me too. I drank a whole bottle of champagne at this point.
Yeah, it's really deep. I love it.
Okay. So which one? So this is your camera. Okay. So in the camera, start naming off the things that you liked. Okay. The things you want in your dream man.
Your ass looks great. Oh my gosh.
Okay, yes. So would it describe your dream man, like my sister was saying? What exactly, like, how do you visualize, how do you picture?
Wow. I have this girl that reads my cards, and I've been going to her a lot. And she was telling me that I'm gonna meet, well, my dream man, that like my other ex that I was really in love with. He was like a boss, like a real boss, like a high roller man. Like he had his employees, and she told me like the next man that you meet that you're really gonna fall for, he's gonna be like a high roller, like a real boss, not like talking about it, but like being about it, and like everything that he says he's about, he's gonna show you.
Okay, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like I don't even care about money, because my last ex was like a fraud. He didn't have money, but I care about like that like boss energy, you know, when
Okay.
he's bossing people around.
Okay.
So I think she kind of put that in my head. She's like, you're gonna meet him at your job. When you see him, he's gonna smell delicious. You're gonna be attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm kind of looking for that now. That should put it in my head.
Okay, but and that's something that you visualize even before you had your cards read. Okay, is that what you visualized?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so
I've always been attracted to men like that. And with my last relationship, I put that aside, and I'm like, let me try to date someone normal and nice to
Okay.
see where it goes. But I kind of like put like what I'm into aside.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
I had met
let's go back to that. You said you got with him because you're trying to get back at somebody.
Yes.
So
I like dogs. I like dogs. I like guys. I like guys that are bigger than me. I like guys with tattoos. And my ex was skinny. He was like 80 pounds and he looked like a girl. I'm just like, this is the first person I met. Sure, boo, I'll do your makeup if you ask. Let's be girlfriends.
So
I was telling her I got my cards read.
Right.
And like I was telling her like my last ex had tattoos. He was a business owner. He was like in the weed industry.
Right.
And I've always kind of dated guys like that. And I got my cards read, and she was like, "Yeah, the next man that you meet, is really gonna be about it. He's not just gonna talk about it. Like he's gonna be about it, and he's gonna be like a high roller type of guy. He's gonna smell good. He's gonna look good when you see him. You're gonna be instantly attracted." And I've had that happen to me before, and I'm just like, that's very true. Like,
give me a piece of paper, Emmy, please.
like I had told you, it's not about the money. It's about like that masculine energy with like bossing people around. There, that boss energy. It's not about the money.
Yeah, definitely. I'm loving this. There's notebooks inside of the black case, babe. I'm loving this.
I'm gonna walk out of this interview so drunk. Cheers. What are you drinking?
I have tequila.
Pineapple.
In here.
Pineapple.
I'm babysitting, but I have this like crystallized water with amethyst, and then I have like a little crystal glass.
I've been wanting to buy that, but so I have a lot of free time on my hands, and I watch TikTok a lot, and they were saying that like it's bad or something like that.
I don't know who has said that, but they're lying.
I really want to get this.
You got.
I actually I was telling her.
I pretty much wrote all the way through.
I was telling
like
her
my
as
oldest notebook.
As I walked in, I have like a Dasani water bottle, and at my apartment, there's a lot of hipsters. And every time I go to the pool with a water bottle, they look at me like I'm fucking evil, because everyone has these.
The glass water.
Like your plastic waste. Shaking my head.
Okay, here you go. Here. Write down so far.
Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yes, love, of course. Go ahead.
After a whole champagne bottle.
Yes, we'll do the sponsorship down. I'm gonna have her do her little blueprint right now. So, okay, so everyone that's watching, as everybody knows, I've been going through this huge transformation. I've been through so many programs with coaching, and together right now, I am putting together my own coaching program, and it's secret, but let me tell you a little bit about divine feminine coaching. And I'm putting together something that's just super juicy. It's just flows, and it's soft, and it smells good, and it feels good, and it's doing less, and it's truly embodying the femininity. So it's gonna launch soon, ladies and men. If your woman is just lost her that glow, get ready to sign her up for my new program. It's going to be launching soon. I'm super excited for this. Super excited, you guys. Okay, so until then, we are going to give let's pick the winners for our t-shirts.
All right, let's go. Make sure I can hear myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to introduce the
Okay, so you guys know we are doing a free t-shirt giveaway.
two lucky winners.
We have two winners today. Our first winner is, and my brother's scrolling up, down,
Well,
down.
Let's see. Tweety Bird Jr. left a lot of comments today. I just got home and watching the show, and as I'm doing a little bit of Tai Chi, balancing out my energies, I'm about to get ready to meditate. Let's see. Our D Agent 69 again left $70.
D Agent 70, thank you. Love you.
69. D Agent 69.
Oh, 69.
Yeah.
Oh. Give me a few more of the 69.
Tweety Bird Jr. also says, but you got to be careful what you think about and what you say because whatever comes out of your mouth will be manifested into your life if your thoughts are not cleared and you think negative of that. He actually has a lot of good comments. And then also our second winner will be, I don't know if you already won, Leo, but you also participated a lot in these comments tonight. So
I mean, have we had Tweety already win?
I don't think so.
On Instagram?
I don't know.
I meant on this. Okay.
Tweety Bird Jr., if you can, you've won one of these shirts tonight.
Tweety, you are a winner of one of our t-shirts.
So if you can, go under her DMs on Instagram if you have one.
Yeah, he does.
If you feel comfortable, leave your information
He's
and
one
we
of
will
my
fans. Send you that shirt for
Next
free.
t-shirt goes out to
Leo V. Leo V says
Leo V.
Deanne, helping people is definitely your calling.
Thank you, Leo.
I like this one. This one that he said was kind of good. Sometimes life is not about being humble, but humbled.
That's part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Because we can't be humble unless we're humbled.
If we have egos, we're humbled. Yeah.
And then he says
sure.
California rent is ridiculous.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you guys, sorry. Okay. Do not DM me. Okay, so Tweety and Leo V, down below in this video when it's up on YouTube, please leave your contact information. It can be an email so that my assistant can get a hold of you and we can send these out to you. Thank you, you guys, for tuning in.
And then
any other good comments?
Just an interesting one. Steve Bawata is from Indonesia. That's pretty cool.
So people can leave comments while we're on right now. It's like a live chat, so he's reading them.
You have Christopher Rodriguez said, so sad, baby girl, you need a real man.
Ooh, yeah, she does.
Where you at, Christopher? Wait, is he in Indonesia?
He's in India. Right next door.
Jason Parker says, Kat, you look so beautiful and sexy. I love you, girl. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah, she is.
The agent just sent another 50.
Well, maybe it's because I've been looking for my soulmate in South Central and Inglewood.
He's in Indonesia. You're all, but do you smell good?
And then
I'm going on a date after this.
Yay!
I'm gonna show up with my notebook and be like,
"This is my blueprint." As a matter of fact, you can fill out the checks if you miss any of those boxes. Yeah, you can keep going.
That's about it. Everything else is just your hot, sexy.
Yay! Well, just name some people.
Kat has nice tits.
Name some people. but name them. Just go through. Name it.
Cynthia Martinez, thank you for participating tonight. She sends kisses. Alex, aka Alejandro, I want to win.
Yay!
Let's see. It's kind of the same people over and over. Tweety Bird. There's one that says base dolology. I love how femininity is divine in quotes and masculinity is toxic in quotes. And he has a little mad face.
Okay.
it's toxic when we have to do it, not when you guys do it. We love it when you guys do it. When men do it.
Toxic masculinity has nothing to do with healthy masculinity. There's a lot of healthy, powerful masculine men out there.
Lex Luthor says, that's what happened to me in the last 5 years. I'm not sure what part he was commenting on. Stephanie Gons, no boundaries, that's the problem.
Yep.
You have like 50 hearts from Jason Parker.
Thank you, Jason. We love you.
That's it. That's it. Everyone else is just kind of repetitive.
All right. Okay. Thank you to everybody. So what we're going to have her do right now is I'm going to have her write down all the things she said that she wanted and her dream person while I give a shout out to our sponsors. Okay. So you're going to write them out. Alrighty.
Okay, hold on. Let me put it back on you.
Okay.
1, 2, and your life.
Hello, this is a commercial for Unleash Your Sexy. We would like to give a shout out to our top sponsor, Tameless Me Lashes. men, check out this beautiful book.
At your camera.
Oh no, I know she's posting that one right there.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Sorry.
Thank you to Tameless Me. Has this beautiful booklet. Ooh, of these sexy lashes that I'm wearing. Thank you to Heavenly Divina on Instagram who does my makeup. Shout out. Book her too for your next shoot. And make sure you grab yourself a book of Tameless Lashes. You don't want to miss it. They have the sexiest lashes in the game. And we want to give a shout out. Oh, we have that bottle there. What we have at the bottom. Shout out to
Don't
our
sponsor this one.
sponsors. Belle Rute, which is by Kid Ink and his wife. Why is this moving? Shout out. Make sure you guys give them a follow. Go grab your guys a bottle. And yes, so thank you to our sponsors. We have 2 spots available right now on our sponsorship levels for platinum and 1 left for gold. Hit me up, DM me, and we will get back to you regarding sponsorship placement on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys. And we're
Also,
gonna plug in.
Junior Mendoza, actually, it's a good question. Where can I buy one of those shirts if I want?
You can't. You have to win it.
It's on your web.
No. No.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
I saved them specifically for winning.
Okay.
They're exclusive.
Sorry,
They're
guys.
exclusive
You
to
gotta
YouTube.
watch.
To my YouTube fans. They're exclusive. So you have to actually subscribe and press the subscribe button on my YouTube. I'm trying to hit that 1 milli mark for subscribers. So this is only available for my YouTube subscribers. Awesome. Okay, so let's plug in Kat's social
Can I see your
media.
shirt?
Yes, lovely. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Do you have anything you want to promote, love?
No.
Work? Instagram? Okay, we have your Instagram up right now.
Yeah, you could just put my Instagram.
Okay.
I
Make
don't have
sure,
anything else. to promote.
make sure you guys go and follow her Instagram. And she's going to sit here and she's going to finish the rest of her list.
And I'm taking it on my dinner date.
Yeah, she's taking it on her dinner date. And I'm super proud of you. And thank you so much for being vulnerable and very transparent with us. Thank you for opening up about your life because there's going to be so many women that are watching this and so many men. And this is going to be, I know, very paramount and have a lot of breakthroughs in so many people's life.
No, all the guys that are trying to get at me, they're gonna be like, I'm spiritual as fuck.
Hey, it's a start. Because one day and they can't keep a conversation, you'd be like, yeah, you lied.
Oh, that was on my list. Keeps a good conversation.
Yes.
That flows.
That's spiritual, definitely. I love that. Okay. We love you guys. We will see you next Wednesday. Hugs and kisses.
Goodbye.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I know this was, to me, this is one of my favorite and deepest podcasts that I've had. So make sure if anything you heard in this podcast resonates with somebody you can think of, please share. Please press the share button and send it over to who needs to ever hear it. Okay? Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to get to the 1 million mark, you guys, and get that plaque from YouTube. If you love me, subscribe. And hit the bell.